Welcome to another Farmers Insurance training. On this video, I will cover the topics of how to add a driver, remove a driver, change the status of a driver, and also change an address inside an auto policy. So I'm going to go to Farmers Dashboard. So first thing you do, you go through SIMS, and I'll keep working with, you pull up the account through SIMS. So go to the search. You can also search policies by phone number if for some reason the name is not coming up. So from here, you can go directly to SIMS, but I always go to continue to make sure I have the account open. In case I discover any cross-selling opportunities, I can set up add X dates or set up SMPs after I'm done with the changes. So first thing I do when you're adding a driver or to a policy, you go to the contacts and relationships, and you just make sure you add them here, because when you add them inside the policy, that information won't be transferred to the SIMS file at this point. But just add them here. That way you can add if the person has a different email address or a phone number, then you can just have all that information right there. So once you do, you go back to general, then you can open up the account through the ICMS account in system. Then you click on the policy and you open it up. Once it opens up, this, you want to make sure that you have the proper effective date. This is every time you are making a change inside a policy, make sure you have the correct effective date. And if you are adding a vehicle or anything that you're doing, just make sure you check this. So once you do, then you go to the client. In this case, I need to remove, I'm gonna actually, let's see. If I want to add a driver, then I just add it here. If I want to change the status, let's say that Alma got married and still lives in my house, and I want to add her spouse. First, I'm going to change her status here from single to married. So the gender, social security. So I will change it to married, and then I will say update. In this case, I'm going to cancel because I don't need to make any modified her. Let's say that this couple gets divorced and we need to remove one of the spouses. You click on it, so then you change it to separate, and then you just update it. And then on the other spouse, you'll be changing them again from out of the house. So now we know that this person no longer lives in the house. We are adding a driver, then you do add, then you just enter all this information. So that's if the person had insurance before coming to Farmers, then you just enter the prior insurance information. If they're students, especially for youth, when you're adding youth to an auto policy, the parents can receive a good student discount, and we need to have, I believe the GPA needs to be over 3.0 or 2.8 and up. We need to verify that with Farmers, but they get a good student discount, and we need to make sure we choose that. If they will be operating if they own one of the vehicles that from the policy, you say yes, and you just fill in all that information. So that's how you add a driver. So then you'll go to the premium and rate, and it will tell you how much will this policy increase right here, and for adding them. It's important to understand that this policy will be renewing January 31st. Let's say I'm adding a driver today, and then this is prorated. Prorated means how much is this policy premium changing from the day that I process the change up until the renewal date, which is January 31st. So this amount is not a monthly. So if this was $75, that's how much it's going to cost from November 22nd up until January 31st. And that amount will be divided on the number of bills remaining on this account. So if it might not be, the farmers may not have time to bill them on the current month's bill because it already went out. So the month of December is the last bill for this account. The full $75 will go into that account. So the clients might feel that, well, it's gonna go up $75 a month. You don't need to explain. No, it's just that the company doesn't have enough time to bill you 2 months. You'll be on this driver will be for almost 2 months on the current term, but we don't have time to bill for that. So it's very important that you understand prorated means from the day that you make a change up until the end of the renewal date, and understanding that the billing. So you're not confusing the client thinking my policy just went up $100 or $75 a month, because that's not the case. And if they want to, you can offer them, well, if you want to pay part of that this month so that you don't see the full, you don't get a bigger bill next month, you can pay half of that, whatever they want to pay. So the next month they're not calling telling you, hey, why my bill went up $75? Because that will happen. So I always give them an option. Would you like to make a partial payment for this change so that you don't get a large bill next month for this? And that will help them. And also from here, how to change an address. So we go back to the summary screen. And they also need to understand that when you add a driver, and the amount will be reflected in the policy, not in one vehicle. So the age of the drivers gets averaged among all the other drivers in the house, and that's a total per policy, not for vehicles. So if parents come and they say, I want to add my son to the 99 Honda because that's the one he drives, there is no way to add one driver to just one vehicle. The they get added to a policy, and anything they do, their age, tickets, accidents will affect the whole policy, not just the one vehicle. Okay. Now to change the address, you go here, and you change the address in 3 different places. So you change it through here, and once you enter the new address, you need to mark these boxes: residence, mail-in, garaging, and monthly billing. That means everything. This one will change it also on the billing account, but you always want to go to the billing account just to make sure it was changed there as well. So you change, check mark all those, and then you say okay, and then you exit out of it, and then you'll be able to see the difference. So that's where you change the address. So I will just close this one because I'm not making any changes. And then you go to the billing account, and you also change the address, going through the account maintenance and change plan options. So you change it through here as well, and then you just submit. So now the other place where you change the address is inside the client's file. So 3 places. You go here. So the way that the order that it goes, you first change it here, and then you change it inside the policy to make sure that that you don't forget this part. Because if you only change it inside the policy, this won't update it here. So this, when you change it here, it will update it in SIMS. That's why you want to change it there. So next time when they come in, you can find them in SIMS. Much easier. Okay. So that ends the how to change, how to add, remove drivers, and how to change an address in an auto policy.